Wow. Welcome back. Episode
Wow.
3. I'm going to tell you something. I don't know about you, but I have been inundated by emails and texts from people who say they absolutely love you, Rob.
Well, I think that they love the show. They love that we are out there searching for new music because everybody doesn't always have the time. People are busy doing their things. We're helping people find new sounds, and I think that people are appreciating that. And I'm really excited about that. I'm super excited that all y'all are listening, and we're having a great time, having fun doing this. So it's been an awesome thing.
Well, listen, let's talk about our journey so far. In the last 2 episodes, we went to New York City.
We did.
Then we went to Sydney, Australia. We stayed there, though. We stayed there for 2 nights. We did a 2 night.
We took a 2-night stay.
2-night stay in Sydney.
Yeah.
And then we went to New Zealand.
Went back over there. Yep.
Then went to Greenland.
And
then went to Portland, Oregon.
Right back to the Northwest, yes.
Now, today,
where are we at now?
We're going to Bar Harbor, Maine.
Bar Harbor. How would you say that in Maine? Was there an
Bar Harbor.
Bar Harbor.
Bar Harbor. That's right. Bakika. Well, it's funny, with accents, and not to get on this topic too much, I've been in Virginia now 15 years. And so I lost
you lost your Boston?
I did, but if I get pissed off enough, especially around like sports things, that it comes back pretty damn strong.
I love it.
It's crazy. And then so then we're going from Bar Harbor, Maine. We're going to Liverpool.
Liverpool.
We're gonna go to West London for a cup of tea.
All right, spot of tea. All right then.
So
let's do it.
You are bringing us to Bar Harbor, Maine. Tell us why we're going to Bar Harbor, Maine, Rob.
Well, I found a group there that they've actually and maybe I broke the rules on this one too.
You rule breaker.
I almost I know. I'm a rule breaker. I'm a rebel without a cause. I found this group there. They kind of made a little bit of a splash. But they were not signed. They put out their own vinyl themselves, which is cool. And they did some touring with some bigger bands. I found out later after finding this song. Then they've taken a little bit of a hiatus, but according to all the websites and Wikipedia and all the stuff I've seen, they're still technically active. They're just taking a little bit of a break to kind of figure out what's next or whatever it is. And remind me of the name of this band here because I don't have my tour sheet.
This is Cokeweed.
Cokeweed. How can I forget that? Cokeweed. It's like you're up and you're down. I don't know. That's a good way of possibly describing the band. It was funny because when I first saw the band name, I was actually like, oh God, I can only imagine what Cokeweed's going to sound like, But no, it surprised me. It was outside of that idea. I learned that my stereotypical ideas were actually off, and I need to actually allow people to share their music rather than just judge them by the book on the cover. So I was pleasantly surprised. A female singer. She's very, very talented. I believe she's a singer-songwriter of this band. And I think there's another singer that pops in on a couple of songs here and there. But for the most part, she's mostly the lead singer. And I really enjoyed this music. Again, has a little bit of a psychedelic vibe to it, but more rock and pop and melodic than some of the others I picked.
All right, well, let's dig deep. This is Cokeweed from the album Mary Weaver, and this song's called I Could Be So Real.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3,
All my nights now feel the same since you left. When I phone, you never answer. All my mornings go to hell. If I sleep, my dreams are monsters made of words I cannot tell you. Night after night, the laugh that I laugh rings untrue. I flirt and I drink, I act out, but it's fake without you. But for you, I could be so real just for you. I'm playing no more games if only you would even see me ever again. But for you, I could be so real just for you. I'm playing no more games if only you would even see me ever again.
Maine making us proud.
It's fun music out of Maine. Maine must be super proud of that band because I imagine Maine probably doesn't have a million bands. I don't know.
From what I remember living in Maine, it was a lot of bands that kind of sound like Godsmack, a lot of those harder rock bands, a lot of cover bands. I mean, from what I remember,
Sure.
It was interesting because the one good friend I had up there, the reason we connected so much was because of our love of Pearl Jam. That was a reason. That was a reason we that was kind of a cool connection. But
sure.
Do you know what I really loved about that song?
What's that?
The timing.
Oh yeah, it had kind of a real nice time to it.
Yeah, everything, like, even though things were off, it all worked so well together.
Yeah. That weird sample, the counting thing, and then her voice is just I don't know what the cute, I guess it was just very cute. It was very sweet, very like just had this just sweetness to it.
Very dreamy.
Yeah, dreamy is a good vibe, kind of spacey. I'm trying to think of some. I couldn't really think of a group to put a finger on of like who they reminded me of, which is cool because they're their own thing, I guess.
I couldn't. I thought the same thing because anytime we've talked about a song before that we listened to, it was like, hey, it sounded similar to this, but
it has this vibe. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. There was a group. I'm trying to think what they were called. They were. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna remember them. There was a group that I was kind of digging back in the '90s that had a little bit of that vibe, but I can't for the life of me. I'm just drawing a total blank. There's too many bands in the world. I can't think of them all. They flow in and flow out, and then
too many bands, not enough time. Is that what we're talking?
Well, I think there's a lot of great bands that blow your mind, and then they maybe don't do anything for a while, and you don't hear from them for 10 years, and then you're like, I remember this one band I really dug, and then what happened? Why did they stop? You know, and there's a million reasons people stop doing their thing. People have families, people have other things going on in their lives. You know, like I said, this is not an easy business, but yeah, it did slightly remind me of somebody, and I can't think of who they were. But anyways, doesn't matter. They were unique among themselves, and they were fun, and I liked them, and that's why I picked them. So, yeah.
Good stuff, Rob. Good choice. 3 episodes in.
Thank you.
3 great songs. 3 great bands.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm excited to hear your third pick.
So, we are now leaving Maine. We're going to take the long boat ride over to Liverpool.
Boat ride. That is a long boat ride.
Well, you know, I figured we have to get ready for the next couple of shows, so I figured this would give us enough time to find another artist.
See the sights, see the whales on the way.
That's right. Wave at them. That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
This band, really, I don't know what it was, and I think we'll see what you think, but really captured me with their music and their vibe. And when I started talking to a friend of mine that lives overseas, I asked him, like, is this kind of the scene over there? Like, is this the music? And he says, this band and the style that I'm listening to, you can go out any night of the week, go down to well, not right now, but you can go down to any of the local pubs.
Yeah.
And you can hear a band like this. And I'm like,
really?
I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I promise you. So this band is Robb Clark and the Wooltones, and out of Liverpool. The song is called Peas.
How did you find this band? You did the rabbit hole same thing?
So this band I found. This one I found. Oh, I did. There's a website called. I sent you a link to it. I think it was unsteinrichardsons.com. And what it is,
I need to do that.
This guy owns this algorithm that he attaches to multiple platforms to pull in these artists. So what you do is you type in your favorite bands and like music you're into, and then it finds them, and then it lists them in countries. And this happened to be in there. I clicked it, and then I just went down what they call the rabbit hole in his music, and I dug.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. There should be more of these sites. By the way, if you're an algorithm person and you're deep into tech and you're thinking maybe this is a good idea to expand on, please do, because I think that especially the better that they get, the more I don't know how you do that, how you link bands or sounds. That's a tricky thing in itself. But I think that would be really cool to just be like, I really like this band in this town, but maybe there's someone like that over in Sydney or over in London or something.
It's interesting. But here we go.
All right.
Robb Clark and the Wooltones.
Let's do it.
Cause it's somewhere you won't find.
I love that. That was awesome. Where are they from? They're somewhere in England?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. And now that makes me want to go to Liverpool and hang out at all the pubs. If you're going to hear a band like that every night, I'd be out every dang night.
That's what I said.
To new bands. I mean, that's my style. That's my jams right there.
Oh yeah, dude, and the guitar playing that was it like that raw sound? I
super
love
raw,
that.
gritty, cool. And the vocalist had this rad John Lennon slapback delay going on his voice. It just really added that energy to it, and it was really cool. And and I could see how someone might say, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of bands like that," but that's pretty solid stuff right there. I'd be into those guys. I'd follow those guys for sure.
100%. And the thing is too, like you know what? It's easy to say, you sound like that band, but you also have to play like that band. Like you have to play the instruments to make it sound like that. And
right.
That takes talent. Like there's still talent behind it.
Yeah.
And everyone has to pull from somebody, right? Like there's got to be that kind of, I get my influences from, but dude, like it was great. I loved it. It's still like, I can't put my finger on it. He's like, the band sounds very much like something else. And I can't, dude, I listened my son had a soccer game up in Washington, D.C. today. So I had a 3-hour trip there and a 3-hour trip back. And I was listening to the album this is off of, and this is called The World of the Wooltones. And they are very great. It's very.
Is it similar to that most of the way through, or does it go all over the place? Or
there's some songs that are slowed down. For the most part, it's very much like that.
That's really cool. I could totally dig a record like that.
Yeah. Now that Robb Clark did leave. I guess he did his own solo stuff too.
Sure.
Not so much into that as much as I am with
you like the band. Yeah.
I do like the full sound of the band.
Yeah.
And it's just really good stuff. So definitely a big fan.
Very cool. I like that a lot. Yeah, that was very cool. And they being in England, they have to travel over the big pond if they want to get over here. So hopefully they'll get to the point where we can see them someday.
That's right. Or you know what the old saying, we'll just have to take this world tour.
I mean, I'm telling you that we get rid of this COVID stuff, and the way the show's popping. I mean, you and I might be traveling.
Oh my goodness.
That'd be so much fun.
I'm down for that. Like, listen. If you don't know,
we'll find some benefactors.
That's right. We have, we had to get some, sponsors. I mean,
sponsors.
That's right. We'll get the weird ones too. The ones that have like the weird side effects. You know what I'm talking about? Like you ever see those things? Take this pill if you're going bald. Don't worry about the side effects of that. Your ears will fall off, your nose will fall off, you lose all taste and sensation in your left hand, but your hair will be back.
Exactly. We're just here to help you out, maybe hurt you at the same time.
Oh yeah, it's like those 5-minute long commercials where 32 seconds is the benefits.
And then they always speed it up too, don't they? What is he doing? Because he just said that at like lightning speed. I don't even know what he said. That's crazy.
Love it. And then you get like on the bottom in the smallest of tiny prints, it's flying by.
Oh yeah, of course.
Nobody's reading that.
Just to get the legal stuff figured out, right? Yeah.
It's the truth.
No, I don't know if we need those. We're just like, hey man, I'm in Seattle. Maybe we'll get Jeff Bezos to back us up. We'll get ourselves a
You give him a ring.
I'll work on that. I mean, I don't know the guy, but
You just give him a ring. I mean,
Jeff, you might like new music. Support us, man. Let's make this thing happen. Let's pop it up.
I mean, check him out in the Yellow Pages. He's got to be under B.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is. Do you remember the old look at the page? Turn the page. Look at the page. Then bring it down. Up there he is.
There he is.
Oh my goodness me.
He's got extra money to flow. Let's do this.
Now. The next song, which was
the fan song.
The fans.
Fan.
I'm still trying to determine what the actual. It's from Instagram, and the person's name is BBLove_22.
So do you? So yeah, you don't know like who anyone. You don't recognize that name.
No, because
it's not like a regular.
No, the person follows the Touring Fan Live.
Okay,
but
that's the first step.
They're private page, so we couldn't see any information. I don't know them because the image is of like a flower. But they were
band's manager.
That's right. Look,
band. By the way, speaking of that, like, love, follow. Come on, people.
That's right. That's right. That's
Band
right.
Live. There we go.
This band is from West London.
Okay,
They have,
that's a good
I
start.
really dig the name, OtherSons.
OtherSons or Sums?
OtherSons, SON.
S-O-N. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw this on the sheet, and this is the one that I actually looked them up on Google and could find nothing. I couldn't find anything. So I was like, I have no idea what we're going into here.
Yeah, I mean,
So this will be rad. It'll
Yeah.
be a new experience.
I'll have to see if I can research them online while we play the song. They are on iTunes, and they do have quite a few songs. And the artwork for this album is
Pretty rad.
red. It's like a skeleton head. The top cut off, and then in it's a maze.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So this is
So it's not just your Grateful Dead skeleton head. It's a maze within a maze.
It's a maze within a maze. It's a Radiohead.
Oh,
head.
I like that. Yeah, there you go.
All right, so this is
Let's hear it.
OtherSons Headspace, song called City Lights.
Can't wait.
Well, as I'm stumbling around the city, I cannot see from my drunken eyes. Someone told me that this place was pretty. It's all the city lights. One step in a drowsy cold. 10 hours and I'm up that road. My two eyes on a bottomless glass. Me and my woman, we got so much. The cobbled streets make it hard to balance as I roll down to one side. It's like I'm listening to Holly Valance. It's all shit and lies. 3 men on wise with soap. 10 hours and I'm up that road. With 2 eyes on a bottomless glass. Me and my woman, we got so much. Yeah.
Ooh, the hemming. I love the drummer makes you wait for it. Like, wait for it.
It's coming.
I really enjoyed that drummer. He was cool. That guy played a lot of cool, neat parts throughout the thing. The vocals were really smoky, and we've mentioned gritty a lot. That definitely came up in this song.
Yeah, and the fill in the middle of the song, the drum,
Yeah.
like the drumming, that was my favorite part of the song.
That
I
was
like-
really cool. Yeah,
Oh,
that was
yeah.
really, yeah. It really added to the element of the song. Yeah, it's unique and it had definitely a rock vibe for sure. Like I said, smoky vocals, kind of like he had that like smoky, gritty vibe. But it was cool. I dug it. That was neat.
This reminds me if you went to a club with like
does.
purple velvet seats where like smoking is still allowed. Everyone's smoking.
Oh,
you get the rise of smoke, and then everyone's like, "Yeah, I dig it, brother." Just
I'm old enough to remember those days. So, and it's funny because I never smoked cigarettes, and I would get into these clubs and we'd be about to play, and headlining was the hardest because the club would be so full of smoke, and so by the time you got up there, you're almost already gritty and raspy, even though you didn't smoke anything. It was like just the club's wafting with smoke, that whole vibe. But
never smoked myself. And that smell that you would have.
The next day your clothes would just reek. Because it's just through the club, like just big time. But yeah, I was actually pretty happy with that law, only because I'm a singer and I don't smoke. So like when the law was like, you gotta smoke outside, that seemed pretty cool to me. I was like, I can deal with that, and I know a lot of smokers didn't like that, but it still worked out,
I agree. It would deter me from going to some shows when it was like a bunch of people smoking. I was like, oh.
Yeah. When I played a show in France, in Paris on it was actually me and my wife's honeymoon, and my buddy Ken Stringfellow, I don't know if you know the Posies at all, but I checked in with him and I'm like, man, super long shot. Is there any band you're producing or know over there that might give me an opening slot? And he's like, yeah, I'm producing these guys right now. They totally give you an opening slot in Paris when you're here. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? And got to play with these guys at the Pop-In. And it was a little smoky joint, but it was like this. I was opening, so it was fine. But like after I got done, I was like literally had to like leave for a while and breathe because it was just so. And in France, people, I think to this day, maybe they still smoke in clubs. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe not. But France is a very like people smoke over there, right? So I was like, how do singers do it? Because it's just so full of smoke in that whole place, and then you just rasp up really fast. But yeah, but it was still a brilliant, awesome moment. And while we're here, thanks Ken Stringfellow for that opportunity.
Oh yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I will tell you this though. One thing I learned about this journey so far, 3 episodes in, you cannot judge an album cover and a band name on what the hell you're going to expect.
That's so true, Anthony. Yeah, I mean, and I think that you got to dive deep. You got to listen. You got to give it your ear. You got to give it your honest. Give it a chance. Give everything a chance.
Sure.
I mean, honestly, if I was to tell you right now that Pearl Jam was my favorite name of a band in the world, I'd be probably lying to you. But the band is killer, right?
Sure.
So it's like once the band is killer, like Pearl Jam. I mean, the name's great because the band's great. Like you can make any name. You could be whatever you want to be. And make that band great because you are awesome.
Couldn't agree with you more. It was just interesting because if you would have told me, here's this album, and on the album was a cover of a skull, the top cut off with a maze in it,
yeah.
And the band's called OtherSons, and you're like, tell me what you think this band's going to be. I would have picked a heavier sounding band.
Super heavy to me. In my head, I would have been like, that, or like just super like Slash kind of stuff, metal. Like,
but
no, they weren't that at all. Yeah.
And here's the cool thing, guys. These 3 songs are going to be on iTunes, on Spotify, on our playlist, so you can get to go back and listen to them, dig deep into these bands. It's going to be there. If you're watching the show, we have a podcast version, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, everything. They're going to be on there. All you got to do is search The Touring Fan Live. All of these shows, the World Tour is going to be on there. And once again, thank you for coming on this tour with us as we go to Bar Harbor, Maine, Liverpool, and West London. Now,
all over the map.
All over the map. And listen, I know I'm just the baggage in this group. The real talent in this show is the man to my side. And I am still grateful for you being on this show, Rob.
I'm super happy to be hanging out with you, brother. And no, Anthony, you're the man. You make the show happen. You're the magic. And I'm just happy to follow along and have fun with you.
Do you know what I really love about this, too, before we press end on this? This reminds you of, like, when I was a kid. I used to love, like, you'd get an album. Like, I'll remember when Battle of Los Angeles from Rage Against the Machine came out. I skipped school. I got the album. I went to my friend Javier's house, right? right after school, and we listened to it, all of us in his room, and we were like talking about the songs and what it meant and all these things. And like, I don't think that happens anymore. Maybe because I'm older, I'm not seeing it. But like, maybe, yeah. I love like conversating over songs and music. It's just especially for the first time listen.
Well, that's why it makes perfect sense that you're here doing what you're doing, and I would agree. Now, Rage Against the Machine. Now, there's a band where you hear the name and they actually just sound like what they are. Mm-hmm. Like they kind of just, that name just makes you think of exactly what that sound is, right? It's like, wow, they just lined it perfectly. But it doesn't mean you have to be like that. You can be any name under the sun. Name your also young bands out there that are just getting started. You know, most names have been taken up. Name yourself whatever you want. You know, names are all gone. So just you name yourself whatever you want, and we'll follow and you know, change the letters, the wording, of the spelling, and we're in. Just that's right. Just all you gotta do is check. Just make sure it's not registered as an IP, and then you're good to go. Please do that, because trust me, I've been through that racket a bunch of times. So yeah, I had a band that was called Department of Energy. That's not the smartest thing. I mean, you're competing with so many websites. No, don't do it. Oh my God. Be unique, creative, and different, and who cares if it's a good or a bad name, but just make your band a cool band, and we'll follow you. All right. Well, until next time, I'm Anthony. That's Rob. You just went on the world tour with us. And then until next time, where we get this plane going, who knows? Keep sending us those requests for songs and bands that you think we should listen to. And until next time, thanks for tuning in, guys.